Well now, that's not half bad. Not half bad at all. Solid work, and you didn't skimp on the details. You've nailed the basics. So how about we try something a bit fancier, huh?
Seawall. He was the first to set foot on Avalon, not me. He decided that if anything were to attack us in this strange land, he would shield me and take the first blow himself. I remember loyalty. A fierce, unwavering loyalty. To me and to Avalon. He must have been someone I trusted deeply. Perhaps as we move forward, more memories of him will come back to me. For now, I only hope his loyalty wasn't in vain.
church? The druids? Some band of cutthroats? Ah, but it doesn't matter now that you're free. You look wretched, and you smell like death. I've seen people like you before. Broken, worn down, dragged through the mud. If you've had enough of it all, I could grant you an honorable death. In a proper duel, you lived like a cur, but you could die like a knight. Wouldn't that be just splendid? Just say the word. I'm Abigail, a knight. I swore my sword to my lady's will, and she kept me close, until she had no more use for me. Now, I walk alone, but a shadow never strays too far. Farewell. Still alive. I'm more than happy to. I'm more than.
you're back. How's the remedy? Thank you. I'll finally be able to eat something. Here, take this as my thanks for your help. A necessary lot, if you ask me. We used to keep the roads clear and the word beasts at bay. Some of my brothers act like they're gods in boots. With steel, fire, and guts. Not much else we can do. Can't fight what you can't see, eh? It's been near 20 years now, give or take. Back then, it was more about duty than choice. My grandmother raised me, you see, but age caught up to her as it does to us all. She need join in the keepers? It was the only way I could make sure she got was... Every damn day. She was my anchor, you know? Taught me right from wrong, how to keep my head when the world went... Even now, when I'm patrolling these walls or facing some weird touched horror, I only hope she was proud of the man I became. She learned from her ma, and her ma before her. It's not that these so-called healers give a damn about tradition. It still hurts a bit, but that's normal with teeth, innit? They always hurt a little. Ouch! It still hurts a bit. Ouch! Good thing I saved.
We've been having trouble with the dead lately. The kind that don't want to rest in peace. There are more and more of them roaming the area. It might just be the weirdness, as it is. Anyway, I suggest you go see Marg. He's our huntsman. He keeps us stocked with meat, so the lads don't have to live on fish alone. They get right now, Marg is the only other person who's allowed to leave the keep. I'm not about to risk the life of our last link to the outside world, especially when you're so... There is a local legend about a dark druid named... Slaughter? Slaughter? Slaughter, that was it. He was a necromancer rumored to be able to raise the dead. It's quite an old legend, though, so unless he managed to raise himself from the dead. It's old. From what I've heard, it even predates the Horns of the South. The keepers and the people from the village below used to bury their dead there. But after the flood... Yeah, damn druids. They flooded a village of innocent people, just to show everyone they're still... I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad we got rid of them. It's not far, and it's hard to miss. You don't really know what you're walking into, so if I were you... The captain forbade anyone from leaving the keep, so I couldn't. And truth be told, I didn't particularly... Sure. Good. Try not to get yourself... He's not our first line of defense. The archers are. Every man here needs to have a job. And no offense to Odrin, but... I'm sure the hordes of visitors clamoring... It used to belong to the keep. You could say it was its beating heart. Ah, those must have been the days. But then the ships... Until, at last... What else was there to do? There weren't enough people to live there, and nobody wanted to anyway. Not since the monsters started coming out of the sea. We wiped out most of them. But new ones showed up every now and then. Marg, our hunter, keeps an eye on the place. You can talk to him if you want. Depends on your idea of interesting. There's a weird statue with a god... I don't know. Ask Marg. I'm pretty sure he just sits there all day instead of hunting. No wonder we've been eating nothing but... There are a few retired keepers living there. They might tell you about the good. There are also some refugees from north of the island. I don't really know much about what's going on in that place. I just make sure they have everything they need. People fleeing from bandits, from the wyrdness, you name it. For these people, we are. That's between her and the captain. Were it up to me? Fine then. This is the keep. Anyone sworn in as a keeper lives here, unless they're no longer fit for service. Otherwise, they're not allowed to go there without my express permission. So if you ever see any of my boys, you're allowed to walk around the keep and the village. But if anyone catches you stealing, I'm Captain Brandon's right hand. He deals with the serious matters I don't want to know anything about. I take care of our... Excalibur. Well, be my guest, if you think you can. But unless you're King Arthur reborn... That's one of our tags. Every soldier gets one when they pledge their loyalty. I just hope the body you took it from was already cold, because killing a keeper would land you in some serious trouble. You know, here's what I'm thinking. If you stumble over any of our fallen keepers out there, bring me their tags. Sure, they all swore to stay here until the bitter end, but they have families who deserve to know what became of them. It's part of my duty, but since I can't send any more beyond these walls, maybe you could lend a hand. I'll pay you for every tag you bring back. Ninian. I knew the Red Death would take him. Damn shame. He was one of the good ones. You did right bringing this back. The Horns look after their own, even after they're gone. But, now that I think of it, how did you manage to get hold of his tag? Tortured? In the asylum? You can't expect me to take that at face value. Brother Riagan said Ninian was too weak to survive the journey. They came for him, and we even held a symbolic keeper's burial for him. But what were you doing in the island asylum? You look fine, but if you were there, near him... I'm sorry this happened to you. Still, you have to understand. Now that you've told me this, I'll be keeping a close eye on you. No risks can be taken when it comes to the Red Death. Just as I thought. If you have friends among the knights, you'll want to talk to the captain. But that's not happening anytime soon. Because I said so. What? Did you really expect that you could just enter our keep and head straight for the captain's quarters? There wouldn't be much point in having walls and guards here if anyone could just do that, would there? So what? And have you helped any of my people? First, show me you care, and then I'll take you to the captain. I trust we understand. Good. Come back when you've proven... You know where to find me if you come across any more. Yes? Why not?
heading to the village, right? Tiernan should let you in. Take this medicine to my father, will you? Goban is a loud man. You shouldn't have trouble finding him. Offer. Seriously? You'll have my eternal gratitude, but nothing more for now. Go on. Ah, he used to serve too. In fact, he was the builder before me. Now he's just a... But a father is a father, right? We may hate each other. If Haber doesn't know, then I don't either. So we keep through. Because he received orders not to let any keeper through without a pass. And I don't have one. I've already used mine. Guess what I use? When that idiot gets an order, he's like a priest who stumbled into an orgy. He's got a stick up his ass. Not all keepers have been here their entire life, you know? He got me before he joined the Horde. Serves me right for wanting to find him, stupid. I don't know. Following my old man here was all I ever wanted. Never so tried picturing myself as a husband. I wouldn't know how to raise a kid. Well, no, of course not. We're not. A woman can be an old crone and still devote herself to the all. Old enough to hold a sword, young enough to not break on. We all got different roles around the keep, sure. If I had a gold coin for every time someone asked me that, I could fund the damn thing myself. Look, it's Camelot's orders. I get paid. If they want to throw money at us to keep up a parent, keep your head. Stay out of trouble.
Ah. No. Play.
Bloody hell, look at this! The old place is in a shambles. Bunch of decrepit old coots. They do nothing but shuffle around, stare at walls, and sleep under leaking roofs. Can't even hammer a nail properly. I'm telling you, if I was still working here, this... And who are you? What's you... I bloody knew it. Retirement my arse. It's shit. Never a moment of peace. At least when I was still working, there was always something to do. So... One day, my boy got it into his stupid head that old Gaban is ill. Bullshit. They're all telling me I should do something about it, or else I'm done for. I'll be dead as a doornail in no time. Ha! Like hell I will. I'm still here, ain't I? I've served my time. I've lived... Peace and quiet. At least when I'm with Finley, I don't need to... Listen, they wanted Heber, that healer from the keep, to come here. He did. Then he just threw up his hands. Hell, I should have been an healer. These herbs. No idea what they're for. Heber said he... good thing that at least the one guy who hangs around, Finley... Yeah, right. You're digging a little deep, aren't you? Bring me a drink, and I'll consider talking. Ah. Hold on. Finley. Hey, first of all, I'm not a cripple who needs... Secondly, do you know the problem with having a helper who's mute? I mean, it's not all bad. At least I don't have to listen to even more bull... You're digging a little deep. Then you can kiss my ass. Getting a bit... Ah. That's what he says anyway. But yeah, he's my blood. Eager like me, and... Look... It's like half the blighters here don't have working peckers. Or they've never... Curious, aren't you? Ah. You see, back in the day, being a keeper was a serious business. Nowadays, lads get brought here by their own kin when they've had enough of them. No, back in my day there was none of... My girl cried when I left her, but... how was I supposed to know she had a bloody bun in the oven? Heck knows what he came here for. That's not my... Why the sudden interest? Ah. I'm starting to like you. I like me brothers in arms back in my glory days. Good, a kind of men you'd want be so... But they're gone now, all of them. The old captain got it in his head. We went in together, but I was the only... A hard loss it was. Why the sudden... Ah. Those tunnels, right. Well, me and the lads went down there to check if we... But it wasn't just some empty caves. There were monsters. Looked like... wanna know more? Speak with Fergus. He's in charge of this shit show now. Now... Feast, you say? Problem is, sometimes I think they never die. Bloody bastards. I swear I wanted to go back and retrieve their bodies. But when I drink... me bro... Those tunnels.
What do you want? Who are you?
What do you want? To gawk at the beast? Well, I'll have to disappoint you. So you really don't know? If you're not from here, I'm not sure. Just know that Cole isn't like that. Something is poisoning his mind and soul. I don't know what it is, or One evening there was a quarrel between our group. The villagers, they'd had a bit too much to drink and let some They hurled insults at us, saying there's no place for us here, that we should hard. Sure, I bet that bunch of wimps wouldn't last a week outside. Well, he attacked that keeper and bit him. It was serious, but the keeper survived. Afterwards, they chained Cole up and locked him in a cage. His condition started to worsen. Bastard. This might sound silly, but before we reached the keep, we came near a strange structure. In the morning, we realized everyone had a strange dream, but it was a little different for each. Cole started acting... No, only that, well, he didn't make much. It must have been some bug. Something changed by the weirdness. Well, it was pretty typical. We started a fire and threw some cobwebs into it. Frank brought them back from one of his treks. That boy could always find them somehow. Ellis was on watch that day, but from what he told us, I was in a strange place. I was trying to find him. I called out, but no one answered. I was alone. We set up camp near the arch spire. We hoped that bandits wouldn't dare to venture into a place like that. With everything that's been happening lately,